everybody doing? How's it going? Alright. Excuse me, Chong. Alright. I am now decomposing. It was bad enough at work that I already was working on a heavy assignment. Then we got a new admit. And then, of course, the new admit had to be sick and need a whole bed change. So every single resident was bothering me. And when I say bothering, I mean bothering me. That's what they love to do. They love to torture me. And I watched this guy on Facebook. He does these memes. Of course, my pastels are coming out. And he's so funny. He'll do these nursing memes about the residents and stuff. And it's so funny. And some people on social media, like, that go on Facebook, think he's insulting, but it's true. These families come in the facility and they don't get it. Their family members go, they'll bitch about how did you get a shower, blah blah blah, and they think it's all our fault all the time. They really do, and he does these funny memes, and it's so hilarious. And I have my cards. I'm just practicing this weeping willow tree, but it's hilarious. They just say it. He just sits there and he has all these funny videos about how the residents act and stuff, and then the family members go, "Well, why did you do that?" And they know damn well that their family members have dementia and stuff, and some of the family members get it, but some don't. And it's just hilarious. But I was watching him. It's Nurse John. And Nurse John is hilarious. I love him. And he is an actual nurse. And then he got into doing like digital stuff. And he's hilarious. I love him. And honestly, we're immune, us nurses and aides and stuff. Because every day we're called an asshole or this or that. That's just how life is for us. And I'm doing this weeping willow tree, guys, because I paint the colors, but I gotta sketch this willow tree. When you're dealing with irate patients all day and family members, it's a lot. They call you all kinds of nasty names. Today, asshole was the name of the name. Because I go to my one resident after I had a new admit and everything, and she wants to take 40 minutes to get ready in the morning. I told her I had 8 get-ups. And when you have 8, oh, hello, how are you? Yeah, I am going to paint this in color, but I got to kind of know where I'm going with the sweeping wheel, and I got it for beginners because I am a beginner, and this does help me after a long day of residents being insane. And I tell you, they're crazy sometimes. Crazy. And then all day long, they just bother you. And then, you get them up, and you're just about ready to get your last 2 get-ups done. And you're like, oh, this isn't so bad. I got at least a little bit of this done. Then, you're a social worker, you get it? And then the family members, they come up and they go, oh, I think so-and-so has to poop. And damn well that these guys are incontinent, but you got to be really nice and go, okay, I'll get to her. But I was in the middle of getting another resident up because we got a new admit. Literally, it was that morning, and I had a heavy assignment, so it was crazy. And then she just kept bringing her in, bringing her back. So I put her on the toilet. And then she looked at me, and I go, "Well, you're going to have to sit with her on the toilet. I can't. I just left my resident." And then she looked at me like I'm crazy or some crap. I'm like, "I don't know what to tell you. Do you want me to leave so and so? I got her half naked, and I have her literally sitting there, and she's waiting. I put a sheet on her and everything, and then they all look at me like I'm crazy. This is the kind of day it was, and I just don't understand them. But yeah, the social workers are the best. The social workers do get it, and I celebrate you because social workers. There are, I want to say, there are rock because they come by and all the family members complain to the social worker all the time. Why, and this and that, and you got to hear all the garbage from what they thought we did all day, which was walk up and down the hallway and get called an asshole. That's pretty much what you do. Or they just outright give you the finger. That's my favorite thing. We have one resident, and it's so funny. Every time she gets her wounds done, she tells the wound nurse to go kill herself, and then she gives her the finger. And this is after a wound treatment. And she's with it. And then she'll say how abusive we all are. And she turned me in the one time and said I ran her over. And I go to my DON, I go, okay, what did I run her over with? Did I go get my brother's car, bring it up the elevator, and run her over with that? I got, get out of here, Michelle. Oh my God. This is what she did. And I was like, well, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how I ran her over. I just got her put her up in the Hoyer lift and got her up. And she's just looking at me and she's just like, I guess you didn't run her over then. I was like, and I'm thinking to myself, why are we even having this conversation? But you can't say these things in nursing and in medical. You just go, okay, maybe. Then they found out later that she had Percocets and all this stuff she was given. She'd packet them, put them in her mouth, and then spit them out. And then she had alcohol, and it was hilarious. And then my boss came and she's like, I think she was drunk. I go, obviously something was going on because there's no way I could have ran her over. Now, if she would have said something that was relevant, like, it, made up me abusing her or something, it would have been one thing. But obviously, there was some kind of intoxication. And this was the same lady that tried to get me fired for that. And I did. They did send me home and everything, and I had my little vacation. Because they have to. And of course, you know this because you're a social worker. And I was sitting home happily because I know I didn't do nothing to this woman. And I got paid for 3 days of investigation. So they pretty much told, and then that's when they found the Percocets and this and that and all her little, I think she had JD. She was hiding. And I don't know how they found it. I think they were looking for wound stuff and she was flipping off a nurse, and a nurse found it. So she won't tell on me anymore. She won't, not at all. But she will try to tell me how much she hates me on a daily, and I just tell her, okay, I'm good. I'm like, I get it, but here's the trunk of my tree. This kind of stuff calms you down after a day like this. But hello, everyone that said hi. And these are the reasons I do not want to be a nurse. Today, our poor ADON, after having a state inspection and everything else, hardly anybody wanted to come in. I told them I have to work way too much. So I went home for my at 3. Did not care. She's sitting there after working all day long and she's doing a double because they didn't have any nurses. And then I told her it was like Vietnam. And then she said that Vietnam's everywhere in that place. So it was one of those days. And this is why I won't be a nurse. And this weeping willow is a lot easier. I was watching all these painters on TikTok and they're pretty damn amazing, some of them. They really are. But I was told that they are that amazing because they've been doing it for years. I've only been sketching for 6 months and then painting and stuff. I haven't been doing a lot, but I did do a photography because I really like photography. But if you guys want a reading, I have my cards here. So I do. I will. I gotcha. I'm just decomposing right now because sometimes in life you have to, especially when you're a medical worker. Because I don't know, these guys can really eat your soul apart at times. Sometimes I'm thinking this weeping willow doesn't seem to be very hard. It's like kind of making hair. You're taking your lines and they're just coming down. So, but yeah, this is actually a very nice activity that is very relaxing. I'm going to take these and curve these over this way because this willow tree for beginners is probably my speed here. And you literally just take these lines and bring them down so when I paint it, I kind of know where I'm going. But I used to want to be a nurse. And then just life happened and I can't be responsible for all the stuff they're responsible for. And I can't listen to crazy all the time. I can't. And these nurses, ever since COVID hit, I feel bad for them. Everybody and my favorite one was we had somebody that came in, they were 102 folks. And I mean, unfortunately, she fell and then I guess she ended up somehow passing away. Rest in peace. God bless her. I gave her, she wanted extra bacon in her rosary. I said, okay. I try to be the best kind of worker. See over here, I'm just doing it like I do with the hair. And I just went out of my way, found her extra bacon and all the stuff, right? Gave her rosary. And then I go to do rounds and she said thank you and she started praying. Didn't think nothing of it. And then I started rounds and something told me to go in that room. Something. I don't know what it was. And this is why I say that I used to notice that maybe I got some kind of something. Something told me to start in her room first. So I did. Because when you find people that have died, the longer it takes you to find them, the more you're in trouble, let's put it that way. So, something told me to go in that room, so I did. Woman literally died. But she was only dead like 10 minutes, so they were able to get to the family and this and that. And then the nurses proceeded to tell me, well, thank God you went in there when you did, and, the family's grateful, this and that, and everything. And I don't know, I just had a weird feeling. I mean, she had a really good breakfast. She had her extra bacon. She was begging for rosary. She was 102. I was like, yeah, here you go. I got a Catholic cross that somebody gave me, and it's bad luck to throw away a cross. And it's a bad luck throw away a rosary or anything. You're supposed to give that stuff away to someone that is going to use it. So if anybody ever gives you a Bible or anything like that, even if it's a Bible that's not your faith, always never ever throw it away. Ever. It's supposed to be like some bad karma doing that. I don't know why, but a lot of people swear by this. So I just tell you guys this advice is somebody gave me this Catholic cross, and yeah, I'm Catholic and I do have a couple crosses. So, but yeah, when people die, for some reason they vibe with me. If they vibe and they're happy that I'm the last person to see them, and I pray with them, and the next thing I know, these guys are dying in their sleep. And it's weird. It's happened more than once. That lady took a nap and she asked me to pray with her, so I did. I know Catholic prayers. You know, I'm not a bad person. I try to do the good things. I really do. So, and I prayed with her, and she literally died 2 hours later. They started calling me the angel of death at work. Because around COVID, it happened a couple times where the residents was always begging me to go in there, and I would take care of them and do a lot of little stuff. And then next thing I know, they died in their sleep. I don't know what it was, something about me. Just literally when these residents are like this, they just get so happy to see me, and I pray with them, and then that's it. And then the one nurse was like, she goes, no offense, you're a good worker, but all these people, they ended up dying in their sleep, are the ones that are hospice. The one hospice lady, they did an investigation and thought I was doing something. And then they finally found out all I was doing is praying with these guys. And I said, sometimes, that's all they wanted. It was just somebody to pray with them. Or just somebody to hold their hand before they die. And sometimes the families can't get there. So what are you going to do? I mean, when you take care of people, it's a whole different climate. I mean, that is going to be you one day. And these are true facts. Very, very true facts, my friends. So, and during COVID was terrible. One time I was the bubble girl. I loved that bubble. I rocked it. And the thing was, when COVID started, I don't have any symptoms. I never had symptoms when it came to COVID. And my boss, you'll laugh at this one, she called me at work, at home. I popped up positive. I was drinking Corona because I was like celebrating having 14 days off with pay. So she goes to me, well, what are you doing, Michelle? I said, I'm drinking. She goes, what? I go, what do you think? And I told her, I'm drinking Corona. She goes, there's something wrong with you. She goes, I need you to come to work. And I was like, I have 14 days off, and it's going to be Thanksgiving, and I'm about ready to have Thanksgiving and stuff. And she goes, you can eat? I was like, yeah, and I'm drinking too. She almost fell over. She told me that I could come to work, and they paid me $500 to go in the COVID bubble. And everybody was afraid to go in this bubble all the time. So, and it was like I made like $35 an hour just to sit there with these guys. And I liked it. I rocked that bubble. You could do whatever you want in that bubble as long as everybody was happy. So, and everybody was afraid to go in and even stayed. It's just the way it was. But, yeah, and then I ended up going in there on Thanksgiving, and then I came home and ate. And then I told my boss, I was like, well, I got COVID. She looked at me. She's like, get your ass in here. So I go in there and I went home and I had my food, but yeah, that's how I started in the COVID bubble. And I stayed in the COVID bubble till COVID was done. Because I told them I liked the bubble so much I didn't want to come out of the bubble. So they told me I could stay my ass in the bubble. So I did. I did for like 2, 3 years and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed every minute of this bubble, but the priests weren't allowed in the bubble. And I guess, well, here I got this. I'm going to still paint it. It's for beginners. It's going to, I guess, going to take me a year or two to get a lot better. So I guess with each passing day, I'll get better. And I need to practice. But priests were not allowed in this bubble. Nobody was allowed in the bubble, but I was Catholic and I went to Catholic school, so I kind of knew the death rites and a little bit of Latin and little things like that. So, anyways, I asked them. I brought in holy water, and even family members that's when it first started were not allowed in the bubble. It got to the point where no one was allowed in this bubble. So I had to do death rites in the bubble. And then my friends were like, how do you know how to do the death rites? I was like, when you go to Catholic school, you know about some Latin. And I went back in the day when they was here's green. I want green. Anyways, I went to school when you had to know cursive and things like that. I mean, there was no going around this. The nuns would not have you in there not knowing cursive. So, and things like that. So I learned the death rites. And I would, when they were dying, I gave them their last rites. And I used to always question. I was like, so and so is Catholic. And I was like, they need the death rite, the ritual of the dead, because you're supposed to have this to pass on, and this is what Catholics like to do. I was like, why are they not allowed to have the sacrament? And of course, a lot of times I was told to mind my own damn business, but then they finally was like, oh, you I think you got a point, Michelle. So and then I think it was after 6 months after we hit COVID in, they allowed priest finally. And then I was so excited. I was in my little suit and I liked my suit. I thought I looked cool. I looked like I was fighting zombies. I used to think of myself as fighting zombies in this suit. But anyways, I told the priest, thank God I have help. He goes, what do you mean? Because a priest came in and they finally allowed the priest to put on the white suit. And he goes, oh, you've been doing the death rites? And I told him, yeah. I go, I haven't seen you guys. He goes, we weren't allowed in. And he goes, well, good job. He goes, what holy water did you do? I go, well, I got it from the church, and then I blessed it and everything and said some prayers over it in Latin, and I tried to do the proper death rites. And I was like, and I told him, it wasn't the easiest thing in the world, but I got it done. And he goes, oh, as long as you believe, I'm so glad, and blah, blah, blah. But these are the things that I had endured. And I will never forget these days. I mean, there's not many times in your life where you can literally say that you were involved in a death, in the death rites. There's just not a lot. And then to find someone that actually knows Catholic prayers by memorization is hard to find. So they kept my ass in a bubble. And then my brother called me Bubble Girl. He would go, oh, Bubble Girl. And this would be and all this because everyone loved me. And then I always would have the residents that were almost dying because I got the nurses would say, "Oh, she knows how to do these sacraments and blah blah blah." So I would constantly be like, I would like right before they died, I would tell them I have my holy water, and I did. I had a bunch of holy water because I never knew who was gonna die and who was gonna live. I'm not, I'm not the Reaper. I'm not God. I'm just a healthcare worker. That's it. So this is what I did all through COVID. And it was crazy. And I was so excited to see a actual priest because sometimes you don't want to always be the one to have to do it all. I guess you could say. But now, obviously, there's no more bubbles. And I don't know what's wrong with people at work now. Because a couple people got COVID. They go, "Oh, so and so got COVID. I don't want to get sick and everything." And I'm thinking, my God, how long has COVID done and been over? And then some of my coworkers just being over dramatic, and I'm just like, oh God. So I had more COVID people. Jumanji, stop! All right, hang on. I gotta break up a fight. Go, get. You go in the room. All right, I think of I got a mean ass cat. He hates Chong. Hates him. And it's terrible, but they hate each other. They love and hate each other at the same time. And Chong's terrified of him too, so this is where we're at with that. But yeah, I've been through a lot. I've been through different things in my life, and then I realized, maybe all through COVID, I realized maybe I am intuitive because it's awfully unusual how I was always kind of intercepted and things kind of rotated around my energy all through COVID. And it all had to do with death all the time. And I would like to work with hospice or possibly disabled children. I mean, I did work with disabled children for a long time. And I liked it. I liked it a lot. I would like to go back to working with disabled children, honestly. I'm kind of burnt out from the COVID bubble and this and that. I mean, I love being an artist. I do love photography and other stuff, but I always end up coming back to people all the time. All the time. It's just a path that always follows me. But like I said, after COVID, nursing is not the same. Not at all. You got to be on your A game with everything. They check all of your charting. And a lot of times these nurses, they work short. And they have all this charting to do. All this charting. And the field is overworked, and you have all these new nurses coming in, and sometimes they make med errors and different stuff, and it goes down to what nurse did what. So you gotta really, really be careful. So if you are thinking about being a nurse, be careful and make sure it's something that you would really want to do. I mean, it's a job and it's a calling. I believe nursing and just taking care of sick people in general is a calling. I believe arts and crafts is a calling. I've always liked them. I really have. Because, being autistic in my field actually does help me. because we're always busy. When you're autistic and high functional like I am, you're always busy. Your mind's always wandering. And I'm smart. So I mean, I'm smart and I figure things out. Sometimes like I just know weird things like death ceremonies and this and that because things that interest me. I actually studied the exorcism ceremony. I found a book from author that it got he got things from Vatican City, like these books on exorcisms and how they were doing it and blah blah blah. And it was written in Latin, and one was written in Old English, and I know Old English also because I feel that if you want to be, I always wanted. I've been writing since I was 10. I just enjoy it. This painting is all new. This is just something that actually has interested me, and I was thinking about it for years, but wasn't sure if I wanted to do it. But it does interest me. Will I want to pursue to be a mainstream artist? Probably not. It's probably going to be just something fun I do with you guys. But here's my weeping willow. I don't know if I'm going to try to do another weeping willow since it's only been 30 minutes. But yeah, I have had an adventurous life, and I think nursing has been my most adventurous life ever. It really has. Medical is very adventurous. I got that done. It's not horrible for a first time on the Weeping Willow. I mean, it could be better, but I am not a professional. I'm just somebody that is out here practicing. But if you guys want a reading, let me know. I got my cards. You're up here on YouTube, and when you're a content creator, they tell you that you gotta be doing stuff that's original. So, I'm doing stuff up here that's original. Some paintings that I'm putting together and practicing. And doing my readings. I mean, I'll pick up your energy that on the situation. I can't do that. And I'd be happy to, but I can only tell you what I see. All right. Oh, here's another one. I kind of like this weeping willow. I'll show you this one. And hopefully I can get this better. Weeping willows are my favorite trees. I don't know why. There we go. There's that baby. Okay. I'm going to try that one. I feel that one would be better. I think the Weeping Willows is a little easier. But this one I'm going to try to actually get a little nicer. And I like the way it's shaped. But yeah, that was where I was at today. And I told everybody I'm going part-time. I really did. I had enough at one point of the day, and I told them I was finding me another job. So, and I will as soon as I get all my little appointments done because I pay for this insurance and I'm using every bit of it. Every bit of my insurance I'm using up before I leave there. I really am because I am not going to be wasting money that I put forth because you pay for this insurance. And I do. I pay for it and I'm getting my use out of it because I don't get overly sick sometimes. A lot of times. It's always stupid things. Always. That's how this goes. Alright. Alright, so this goes over this way. Alright, and out that way. That way. Alright. Okay. Here we go. Alright, I like this pastels because I be making a lot of mistakes. And then when I finally get it the way I like it, I put it in, I darken it up. Because I feel this is better. But this is a weeping willow day. Weeping willows are so pretty. So pretty. But it is a very relaxing thing, especially when you had a stressful day. It really is. But like I said, if you guys want a reading, I am here. I have no problem with the readings. I actually like doing them. Alright, now that. Okay, this is branching off this way when it goes this way. So there's a small branch this way and a small branch that way. I really gotta pay attention to these small branches. Okay, and then this one apparently got a branch here and a branch there. Okay, that's where they're getting these sections, and that's where I went wrong on the first weeping willow. I don't even know what to call that thing. It looks like a house plant. I will just call that a house plant. Alright. Okay, well. Alright, this just gets kind of shaded up here, so we're just going to shade this way. Up here like this. Get that shaded. And then over here is kind of dark, so this gets shaded out here. And these shading, I love shading. I don't know why. I do enjoy shading. Alright, and then in here it gets dark, so. It's one of the darker parts of the tree trunk. And then this side's not, so we're just going to do light. I'm just going to go up lightly like this for this part. And then go up lightly like this. Just to get these light lines. Alright. There we go. See, this is the tree trunk here. Trying to really concentrate on this little trunk here. But sometimes this is what you gotta do. Alright. Alright, now. Okay, that's coming over here. There. And this crosses over here. And then it goes like that. Okay, and then this just comes out like that. So that's how those branches are going. Make sure you get your branches good. Then you know where to start your little leaves from here. That's where I went wrong on that weeping willow tree. Very wrong. Alright, and then this branches off to another one like over here. So it's these interconnecting things. I don't think I got anybody else. Alright. Now. I got that. Alright. This one, I'm just gonna add a third one. Just for the sake of adding a third one here. Alright. when this comes together like this, I'm going to just do these upward lines like that. I'm gonna do this. I've seen this in a lot of sketches right here, where you kind of come up the side. I'm gonna do that with this too. Just come up the side, and then lightly sketch that side. I've seen the sketch artists do this a lot. All right, now. Try to rub this off. This looks like I went to like some crazy art class. It does look like a house plant, that one. Okay. There we go. There we go. Up in here. Make this nice and defined. Same thing for this side. Yeah, the better the shading. I think this willow tree is going to turn out better than that one. I really do. And I want to get this nice curve this way. Okay. There we go. Alright, now I'm going to get another color. You know, I probably got green. I probably should have done green with that one, but you know what? It was fun. It was nice and fun here. Alright. Okay, now this one is... These all are coming down. So these here, just like little lines coming down. Alright, and then it gets short in here. So it's going short to long here. Just like that. So I'm gonna do all these and figure out where I'm going with this. I really think this willow tree is turning out nicer. Alright, now, same thing over here. Over this way. This thing going. Alright. And up in here. Go down this way. Alright. And this shows, but we're just going to keep going down a little. I want to get all these lines going down because I feel that I don't want it to look like I was drug painting or something. I feel that that one looked like a drug painting. Something you would do if you're drunk. But that's okay. We'll just call that a little plant. It's all kind of fun. Alright, now... Alright, that's all the ones that go down. And I'm still going to paint this. Alright, now gotta have these going up and over. We just start connecting this way and that way. And I'm going to do this here. I'm going to go up and over there, one side and the other side, because their leaves are going down. It's some of the prettiest trees I've ever seen, honestly. Alright, now we're going to do the same thing. You're just doing nice curvy lines. And I think this is better. Because sometimes you gotta know, you gotta practice. Practice makes perfect. That's what they all say. I mean, I mean, hell, maybe I'll be doing this for years, just practicing until I finally get better. Who knows? But they are some amazing painters over here and on TikTok. I be looking at them. They have this one guy over. His name is Fairy. That's his chosen name he gave himself, and he's amazing with his paintings. And I watch him a lot. He is big in the LGBT community, very big. But he is. They are so pretty. His paintings, so skillful. He can do faces, friends, and that is hard. Faces are very, very hard. So I am trying to get to where I could do faces, and then he was saying the one wasn't even good. One of the faces he did, and I thought it was excellent, and he said it was good. But he is a very amazing artist, this fairy guy over there. But if you guys want a reading, let me know. I mean, I could stop what I'm doing, but this is my second attempt at a weeping willow. I don't know if you can see here. I'm going to go ahead and paint this one in. This was the other one, which I'm thinking looks like a house plant. Or just something you would make at a drunk party. But that's okay. It looks kind of fun and abstract, but it's not where I wanted it to be, but that's okay. I'm thinking for this weeping willow, I'm thinking about just brushing in my tiny brush, the leaves, and leaving that for just a fun one. This is a fun one I want to put up if I want just something really abstract looking, maybe. I mean, you could use them for wall decorations, window decorations, a lot of different things. I have one up that I really don't even think that's that good, and my neighbors think it's fabulous. They go, "Oh my God, you know how to paint? That's so good!" And I'm like, "Thank you, I appreciate it, but I mean, it really is. It's okay, but it's not horrible, but it's not great either. In reality, because I'm striving to do faces, so it is what it is." I think this is turning out better with a smaller brush. If you're going to do weeping willows, a bigger brush, you make some mistakes like this, which we're just going to call this a jungle tree. Smaller strokes come to this, so use your small brush, because that was like a big mistake with those big, because these are supposed to be small leaves. I mean, I wish there was more weeping willows that lived around me, because I would sure be taking pictures of them. And I did take some pictures today, and I put out another Chong the dog photography because I love nature. Nature is one of my favorite things in the world. I vibe with it. I like it so much. Me and Chong are always out in our nature walks because a lot of times I'm searching for pictures and stuff. And I love doing little nature videos. It's like so much fun. And it's so relaxing to do. I mean, you guys should do it too. Just if you go somewhere, like let's say you go to a picnic. You're out in a picnic and you go, well, I'm out at this picnic, I'm bored, blah, blah, blah. And you got your pop, or if you're drinking a little bit, got your beer. And you either got your vape or your cigarette or whatever. If you do have your cigarette out and the wilderness, just make sure you put out your cigarettes. Don't put them on the ground where they're half lit because it could cause a forest fire. But I'm sure you know about that. That's how these wildfires sometimes start in California that devastate houses and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, I always go out and I'm always looking at these trees when I go out, and I love to like look at the river and stuff like that. I love it. That's why me and Chong are always at these places, especially in the summer. Once the weather breaks, I am going to be live streaming down the park a lot, going on nature trails as soon as our weather breaks because it's so cold here. So we gotta look at my awful painting until then. I mean, I got not no else to do because it's so damn cold. Our weather's so unpredictable here. We had our little deep freeze for a while, and it was so cold. I mean, I shudder to think about how many animals were bothered and how many animals died, couldn't get any warmth. How many people died that were homeless. We had a horrible deep freeze. I mean, we got homeless shelters, but how many people didn't make it there? But yeah, it's been a bad winter. Last winter wasn't as bad as this one. But winter, I mean, in Ohio, weather fluctuates. I mean, it's just what happens in Ohio. And like they said, it could be 60 degrees one day, and the next day it'd be a blizzard sometimes. But we have had a rough one. It's been rough on our wildlife and everything, so sometimes I like to go to the park just to celebrate the wildlife and the trees and stuff. You know, me and Chong get in some situations. My nature streams can be kind of interesting at times. Sometimes I run into these deers, and I tell you, deers aren't all that friendly when you got a big dog with you. Especially the bucks. The bucks are so hateful. I want to say they're the most hateful. One day I was just walking to work. I didn't even have Chong with me, and I think I was Snapchatting it because this buck just came and just was staring me down, and I was just in the entrance of the park because where the nursing home I work is like, I could take a park entrance and I can go through the parkway, and sometimes I like to do that, and this guy just staring me down. Finally, I like to call it his wife, but the female deer, his mate, and his baby finally came. And then he backed away. But I was like, OMG. I'm like, are you serious? But yeah. I mean, some of the nature blogs I have get interesting because at that point in time, I Snapchatted it because I wasn't sure if I was getting out alive or trampled on at some point, and I figured at least if I died or something horrible happened, at least my family would know why. So I started Snapchatting, and I was going down to a whisper, and I stayed where I was at, and he wasn't horrible, but he was still kind of looking at me, and then we stared at each other. I did not move. I did not get any closer. Finally, he moved when he seen his mate and his baby. And I was like, thank God. But yet, nature can be crazy around here. And not to mention the wolf coyotes. They're by where I live too. And right at the dog park that I go to that's near here, these wolf coyotes are over there too. And they can be terrible. I don't know. I think it looks better just like that. Keep that. Now that one looks a lot better than this one. But we're gonna have this for a fun time, like the fun tree. This is gonna be the fun tree. This is gonna be the good tree. We're gonna. That's just how that's gonna be. And since this is kind of nice, I kind of want to sponge this a little bit. I'm gonna like sponge a background onto this since it's nicer than that. You can't always have everything. Can't always be perfect. I want to sponge a little black into this because I feel that this is nice and that one could just be a wall. I'll just put that in my window, honestly, probably.
Get that wood, motherfucker. What's up?
So.
Special.
But yeah, I mean, once the summer hits and me and Chong spend more time down this park, you will see how our streams get interesting. You will see. Our streams get very interesting very quick. Because I never know what I'm going to encounter with Chong. Because Chong is a very curious dog. Very curious. So, alright. Move this around here. Like that. This is an art sponge. I got this on Amazon. And it came with an art set. That's how I know it was an art sponge. I am not an expert at any of this. I'm just over here practicing. This is just raw practice because I feel every content creator should do something original. And this is something I always wanted to do is learn how to paint. Because I feel it's a good happy activity to do. But I've noticed when you shade in little areas, my area itches me. It kind of looks nicer. And it makes it look kind of really cute. I'm going to move this in here like that. There we go. But I am doing tarot card readings. I am going to reiterate that because when I get done with this, I don't stay on here for hours because sometimes it's getting late and I gotta get to work early. So I will do a reading on your energies and all that of the situation that you want to do. So I usually like do an hour sometimes, like if I have a couple days, like had a couple days off, I'll do like a 2 hour, but I mean, I'm just a small time streamer here and I gotta work at things. And it's okay. I understand the process. I mean, I don't know if I'm ever gonna get big and it's okay if I don't. I just enjoy being up here and having my little channel and all the storage for my dog videos and stuff. I enjoy this. I know it sounds crazy, but this is like almost like a hobby type thing for me. Right, I'm gonna stick my finger there. I don't know. I think it looks nicer sometimes when you have like this background paint on it. I think that looks so cute when you do that. I think it gives it like a nicer look. It like a faded in look. I do enjoy that. I have a lot of hobbies, and my mother-in-law told me nobody should have as many hobbies as me. And the thing is I look at it as, why not have multiple things you like to do? You know, I technically wrote a book, and I'm trying to get that published, but I always wanted to see, try out painting. Am I gonna make it my career? No, but I like to have fun. This one is much better than this one, but I'm gonna try to fix it. Only that I think that one looks better just like it is. Sometimes I'll be fixing things. Maybe I can make this like anime. That's probably where I need to go with this, like in the anime fashion. I'm gonna put this here because that looks cute, like just like that, with the background. But this, I'm gonna put like abstract colors in it. I'm gonna put some black in the background of this. So I will be on longer if you guys want to try me out for reading. And there's nothing wrong with trying out people for readings. You kind of, you get to me, it's like trying a different kind of pop, you know? Or a drink, you know? I don't do regular readings that are like, I'm not going to sit there and talk to you about the planets and stars because honestly, I've always kind of worked on energy and I don't pay attention to what planet and stuff it comes from. I don't, because I look at it as you feel it and see it or you don't. But some people see things in a lot of different ways. And sometimes there are a lot of people have the answer in different ways and they say it in different ways also. Yeah, I'm putting black inside here. I feel like if this had some like a little bit just like black in the background, I feel it would look nicer and not so dull. Kind of like one of these modern art paintings. And let it blend in together. Sometimes this works out, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, you guys want to try me out, it's fine. I mean, it costs you nothing but your time. And sometimes I'd be making some ridiculous pictures, and sometimes they turn out really good. And I could be very fun. I'm a very fun person. I am not serious. So don't take things that I say like insulting at all. I like to have fun with my life. I like to spread fun and joy. These are things that I just like to do. And I try to spread good humanity because I feel that if, as just people, if we come together and actually are happy with one another and we come up with some kind of plan, maybe we all can get along one day. I mean, this is just where I'm at with things. So, I mean, it is a dream. Will it ever happen? Probably not. Because there's just certain people out there that are just very stubborn and just don't care. about peace or humanity or anything. Okay, I got a message restricted. So I don't know what it is, but they say restricted. So if you have, maybe rephrase your question or something, or whatever comment it is, because obviously the moderator does not like it. When you're over here, you got the moderator. That's why I paint and stuff on my streams and do hobbies, because it's original content and these are things you need to be doing in the stream. So, alright. Especially these white spots. I'm going to put some of this here. See, I think this is really coming out better. We're just making it just an abstract anime here. I don't know, when I make a mistake, I just always fix it up and make it anime. And then at least I didn't waste it, the paint and stuff. It's just a better option sometimes. This middle part, I'm trying to just kind of keep dark because I think it has a nice contrast like this. So, and I'm just kind of going side to side with this. And out. Just giving this nice little colors. Here we go. Just like that. It's not bad. Now we're going to do this with the tree chart. I don't know, black really is bringing this out. Little black lines. I mean, somebody actually might like this. Who knows? This is a lot better with black paint with it. That's why I always say, if you're going to buy some paint, make it that. Today is my English exam. How will my paper be? I could do, well, I could see what your energy field is for your English paper, but I mean, I don't know if anybody truly could find out the outcome, but I could tell you your energy of it and see what the energy sees in the spirits about that. Sometimes they give us the full answer, sometimes they don't. And this is exciting. I have been, my other two streams, I was talking to 8-Bit. He's another YouTuber. I didn't really get to do a lot of readings. So, I'm kind of glad I got an actual reading to do, because I try to offer these on Facebook just for free. Because, I think everybody should try out some tarot readings, with different people. And feel out who you like and who you don't like. I feel it's a better practice because you don't know who you're going to vibe with and who you're not. So, I don't know. But I'm kind of glad that you asked, and I finally got a question on this stream. I kind of stopped I offer, but they never want any, so I'm not throwing it down no one's throat. They're a Christian group a lot. It's either they're big in either Satanism or Catholic stuff. One of the two. It's a very weird environment. And I was so curious about the Satan group, which I'm not a Satanist at all, but I was curious. I got kicked out because I told them that because they always worship Lucifer, and I told them he was once an archangel, and I got kicked out of the Lucifer group. And I didn't think anything, and sometimes they send me these like prayers and stuff, and I go, well, if I was kicked out of the group, why do I keep getting the prayers? But what are you gonna do? Okay. You got a full moon in Virgo, and this just means you're worried. You got some low self-esteem, and because you don't think you're going to get a good grade, pretty much. You're worried. And you got a new moon in Pisces. And this is just talking about meditating and contemplating, but I guess in your case, this card would just mean maybe like study your like relax and just study over details in layman's terms. Because you say all these fancy terms and sometimes you forget the meaning of what a reading is. And then you got a new moon of Cancer. And you know, a lot of spiritualists tell you this is where you and your loved ones are safe. But a new moon of Cancer can mean a lot of different things for a lot of different situations. This just means that everything's going to be okay. And pretty much a new moon of Pisces in your case would mean to relax and try to just rest and maybe just manifest if you like manifesting. A lot of people. Oh, hi, Karan. A lot of people like manifesting. I don't know what it's a thing now. So I guess just relax and maybe go over some details on your thing. But the energy on this is saying you're going to do okay. And you're just worrying a lot. So I can't tell you exact grade it is, but I feel it's going to be between an A and I want to say either a high C or low B at the lowest. So it's in between those, but maybe just brush up, get some sleep. And what I used to do when I was in college is I would like listen to like my lectures and different stuff, and I do your flashcards. Like flashcards help me. So I would do flashcards if you're a flashcard person. And sometimes the act of writing them on a flashcard reinforces it to your brain. To me, it did, but then I'm autistic, so to me it was. And then afterwards, I just kept looking at it, and then right before the test, I looked at it. I had a test once when I was in college, and I had to have 500 index cards. The poor trees that had to die for that test. The poor trees. But you'll be fine, and the energy in that field is pretty much saying you're going to be okay, so I wouldn't worry about it. And maybe do some flashcards or just look over your notes. Try to get a good night's sleep and try to eat something that's high in, I want to say, vitamin E. If you eat something high in like what vitamin, like what different like the vitamins, vitamin E is good for your brain. And just try to take like maybe like one of those elixir drinks that you get from like Starbucks or something, just like a fruit drink, and it'll help your brain work a little bit more because your brain is a muscle. And to get your muscle going, sometimes you have to have different vitamins that trigger the synapses in your brain. Generally, your brain does well with calcium, and I think it's E, vitamin E, and vitamin C is like one of a lot of the big brain drugs. And obviously fish oil and stuff, your brain loves fish oil. If you don't like fish, sometimes taking fish oil helps you with your brain. They say if you take fish oil, that it can help you not have Alzheimer's and little things like this. I don't know how true it is. Don't I mean these none of it's proven, but I would drink orange juice and try to like have a nice fruity drink and maybe take a multivitamin and relax, and tea is supposed, and then I know in the oriental cultures it's I think shamil. Yeah, shamil tea in oriental cultures, or just straight up the Chinese tea. Any of those will work, and they actually get your brain going with the vitamins. And I think you'll be okay with that test. I take a shit ton of vitamins all the time, and I'm still going. At 50 years old, I'm going and I don't stop. So maybe there's something to it. I don't know. But that's my best advice to you, because I've been in school so long. This is why I pursue the stuff I pursue. All right, Miss Karan, what's coming up for me in February? Okay, yeah, I was wondering where you went. I didn't know if your phone broke, or if you fell off the face of the earth, or what happened. I was sitting there going on my, was this a happy face or a middle finger like my president gave me? Oh, okay. It's okay if it's a middle finger. I'm sarcastic as hell. Me and my brother give each other the middle finger all the time, and we think it's funny. But yeah, I was going through my leaderboard thing over here. They call it leaderboard over Facebook, and I was like, "Oh, there's Karan. I haven't seen her." Oh, you're always there. Do you like my new photography? I'm trying to be a photographer now. And when me and my brother are out, I'd be looking at all these interesting trees, because I like to look at weird stuff when I'm out with Chong. But besides being stalked by wolf coyotes and bucks, I actually try to get the pictures of the trees. But yeah, these trees are. I'm obsessed with trees when I'm at the park and rivers and stuff. One of these days, I'm gonna fall in one, try and get them all taped. I'm either do taping over inside the forest or something. I'm deep in the whole woods. I think I hang out with more coyotes and deers than humans. As crazy as that sounds. Because I am. I'm just very in tune with nature. It's probably because somebody told me that they say witches or people that are very sensitive are do well with a lot of stuff. Oh, yeah, I think I did that, but I didn't put the photography on the community post. That was on the shorts. I actually was in the car with my brother, and we were driving, and my phone actually was stilling the pictures and taking pictures as we were driving through the park. It was crazy that my phone even done this. My phone don't like to. I literally, with my phone, can't do two functions, but it can take a picture. It could take really good pictures in motion. I don't understand this phone. And it's like 8 years old. I think it's possessed. All right. In February, Karan, you got a new moon of Aries. And this talks about taking action on a goal. And then you got a super moon, and you got a mutual, uh, buttable moon. So, and the super moon is just talks about emotions and things, and people getting, a lot of. There's, the highs and lows of emotions, they're happy or sad type thing. And then a mutual moon here, the muttable, just talks about it's nothing that things are always up to change. So in your case, I think this has something. It has to do with. I think this has to do with a business and some kind of partnership of some kind. You've got a partnership going on, I see. And then the supermoon just talks about how the ups and downs. So in this partnership, there's a lot of emotions, and I feel the emotions you're going to deal with are, I'm picking up the emotions as being like an attraction type thing, like a sexual attraction.
Yeah, baby.
And a lot of things where people are testing loyalty and things like that. I like to call these superficial people. So I see you having to deal with superficial people. So, and then I'm sorry about that. Those people can be terrible sometimes. And then the muttable moon just means just because it looks like it's going one way doesn't mean it can't sway to the other. So whatever this person going on that thinks you're attractive, that has this kind of partnership thing going, that's what I'm picking up. They're trying to set the stage where it has to go one way and it could go a whole other way. But they're not going to tell you that. That really don't make any sense, but that's all I'm picking up about it. You were busy from past few months. Things were good with me. Oh, that's good. That is real good. I'm glad. I'm almost to 730 subscribers. This is the most I've ever been over here. I was a bottom feeder for a long time, but I hope all this makes sense. Is there someone that fancies you out there? I mean, I feel like there's someone that's gonna fancy you. And then they're gonna have ideas about finance and everything else. So be careful about that. The most attractive men are usually the most troublesome because they think they're special. People that are very attractive and think they're special and they're not down to earth, sometimes they think they're better than people. And you gotta be careful with these guys. I don't like them. They're sneaky snakes. Is Kamisha currently thinking of a way to try and reel me in? No. Yeah, I'll get to your question. They're not trying to fancy you, make you go away. They're trying to fancy you and try to make you possibly do like something like different propositions with maybe money and little things like that to try to sway you to kind of think their way. That's what I'm saying. And people do this all the time. And then because they're with you and And then if you guys do have relations, they want to be special. That's how people are. They want to be special, and then they want to be the most important thing in your life, when really the first year of a relationship you're in that honeymoon stage. So, and people take this way too seriously sometimes. There's this I was married the first time for almost like 12 years, so things like this wear off. But yeah, just kind of just make sure you always, when you do meet this person that kind of fancies you, even if you like them, it's fine if you have relations, but make sure they don't control you at the same time, because you can't let anybody control you. Someone controlling you is taken away from your own personal will. All right. You will break this person. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you already know him. Maybe he's already kind of around in the situation. And, sometimes, people mean well. There are people that mean well, and they're constantly trying to control others. And that's just the way life is. They meet, and then they don't realize they're kind of being obsessive, but to them, that's love. And it starts in low frequencies, and then they think they're doing something great by trying to control people in small ways. So you kind of got to be careful with that. I'm a free spirit. I'd be walking around the park taking pictures of trees and doing some drawings. But yeah, you missed the other one, Karan. I actually did a. Oh god. Okay. I actually did a decent willow tree. This one is way better than that one. That one I'm just making into an abstract painting because that one had problems. That one needed to go to the mechanic and get fixed. So it's become an anime tree. So that's where that's coming. Probably. I mean, my ex-husband was one of those. He started out real nice, and then a couple years later, he was a little bit like that, and then it got worse and worse. And then when things didn't go his way, he'd scream and yell, and sometimes yell at the kids. And this is how they operate. And just watch out for that person. Oh, you like it? I like this one better for some reason. I mean, would be good for anime, but I think this actually looks realistic. I'm trying. I've only been sketching for 6 months. I'm a writer by trade. I'm gonna start. I don't know how to do. I guess I can like do small poems, but I'm gonna be getting my computer because I already have my book written, and the current husband's gonna be getting like this, like a side job, and I'm gonna probably, hopefully, if I get any money from taxes, thank God for Trump because I probably will because of him. I'm gonna I'm gonna self-publish my book, and then I'm gonna try to do poems and see if I could somehow post them, because I actually am way better at writing than painting. I've been writing since I was 10. So, my parents had me read 20 questions for the writer, and then I had to read The Hobbit when I was 10. My parents were really big with school. And I liked books so much. I love The Hobbit. I love J.R. Tolkien. He's one of my favorite authors. He really is. That and Stephen King. And even the one older than that one, I like Clive Barker. I do like him. Clive Barker's a really. I like horror. I love horror authors. I really do. They're some of my favorite ones. And I have a lot of other books in my head, so I gotta buy. I'm probably just gonna go buy me like $100 or $200 computer probably in April, and I'm gonna see how much I want to do the artwork for my book. That's why I'm doing this because I need to do the artwork for my book. So, all right, is this Kamisha? Okay, is this like your current, or is this just somebody that is, I don't know, like they say in the medieval times, fancying you? I'm a medieval writer, so I like medieval words. I really do. That's probably why I don't. That's probably why I'm like Master Yoda. I stay up in my little tree and I hang out in forest and get chased by wolf coyotes. But anyways, that whole situation is in a north node with you and I'm so bad at names. You and Kamisha. You guys are in a north node. And this is just stepping out and doing things that you generally wouldn't do. So both of you are coming out and doing things that generally you wouldn't do. So, and then you got the blue moon is surrounding your whole energy situation here. And you got a new moon. And blue moon just means, like, I mean, it says believe in the possible, but blue moon could also alternate meetings of the blue moon in layman's terms where normal people can understand, like me, but because I don't know all these terms like I should. A blue moon just can mean new beginnings that you didn't think was possible. And that's just a better way of interpreting a blue moon, especially in your case. And then you also are surrounding that whole situation by a new moon. And it talks about a new start. I feel that this is pretty much a possibility. And nothing's ever for certain. I mean, it just depends on a lot. I don't think that this person is trying to be malicious towards you. I don't feel any malicious energy at all. But when you start a new relationship, it's always 50-50. So you got to remember that. It may not work out, it may. But you kind of sometimes have to take a leap of faith. But just beware that it's a 50-50, but everything's a 50-50 in life. That's where free will starts. So there's no malicious activity with this person. I will tell you that. But there's nothing in the world that's going to guarantee that this person is going to marry you or not marry you. On the other hand, so you got to keep that in mind also. In life, anything can change. It's like 6 months later, there could be a total turnaround that you had no idea could even happen. And that's how life does things. Sometimes you just get really depressed and you had this horrendous thing happen, then something good happens. She is a friend that I cut off. Oh. Well, she wants a new beginning. If she's a friend you cut off, maybe. If this isn't like a relationship type thing, I would just proceed with caution. And with these kind of people, keep her cut off then. I mean, if it's a romantic kind of situation, sometimes it's okay to explore that, but I mean, if it's a friend that's all that, I mean, sometimes you gotta think to yourself, is she still. I do feel that, and I actually, sometimes when you pick up that kind of energy, I want to say how I can explain it is sometimes it comes off almost romantic because when love is love, she loves you and but she does love you, but sometimes things aren't meant to always be, and I guess maybe I don't know if you pray or manifest or whatever. I don't judge these things. Maybe manifest or pray on it and really think about what you're willing to invest in this. Because I guess in your life, you figure you only, normal lifespans are only 50 years. So, and that's the average when you go in a cemetery, and only weird people like me would know this. But think of it as if you really don't trust the situation and you're second guessing it, and this person is not the mother or father of your children, sometimes it's best to let go. Because sometimes it's better to listen to your inner self. And I say this from experience because I have ignored my inner self sometimes, and then I've realized years later, why I should have listened to myself. And these are things that happen, and it happens to everybody. So I would just contemplate to you, that's a question for if it's that important for you. And if it's just a friend, sometimes I feel it's better to let it go. But that's just how I feel, and I can't tell you how to feel about that. Because generally, when somebody is like that, and when they meet somebody, and let's say she or he, they meet their boyfriend or girlfriend that they're going to stay with for years or get married to, whatever. Usually, you're the first one outed with these kind of people that are obsessive compulsive. I'm picking up she's obsessive compulsive. I mean, that's just my personal opinion that it feels like that kind of energy. And those kind of people can be very destructive. Obsessive compulsive is not a good quality. Not at all. And if they're obsessing on you, that's not good. To be happy for somebody is one thing. To be obsessive compulsive is a total other thing. That's not good. If somebody was doing all that, I would be telling them good day. And I would not talk to them, but that's just me. But I will tell you that's not a good sign. And I do pick up a teeny bit of jealousy with this also. So I don't know what it is, but there's a little jealousy that this person has towards you. And a tiny bit of resentment. So sometimes you got to be careful. Friends can screw you over just as much as a lover. And this is very true. So, oh, yeah, well, I have had years of psychology on top of being able to feel the exact energy I studied. I like to do it at a clinical aspect because I feel when you start talking about the moon and Mars and all this, it loses context. But like I said, if I had to pinpoint obsessive compulsive, and these kind of personalities are not good because usually they lead to destructive behavior, and these people generally don't bring a positive outcome to anything. They are generally destructive to themselves and to others. And those are the people you kind of want to stay away from. And I'm not even trying to dog anybody. If you have these kind of tendencies, generally, clinically speaking, they usually end up on pills. Sometimes it leads to manic depression, and they get on lithium and different kinds of drugs to control their mood. These are the people that usually end up almost manic depressive. And manic depressed people will display a lot of psychotic signs. So that is one reason I tell you that, and I'm not telling you that because I'm trying to tell you what to do. I'm just telling you from a clinical trainer. I pick up that energy, and that's the best way I know how to say it. I feel she's manic depressive. That's what I feel if I had to put a pin on anything. And I would stay away because that energy is just not positive. Not at all. These are the kind of people you try to just not invest your time in. Because you got to live a whole life of trying to bring humanity because you're part of the Chong group. You're part of the Chong family. Us in the Chong family are trying to bring humanity to things, not being involved with people that are destructive and stuff. Because how can you bring humanity when you've got to deal with a bunch of crazy? That's the way I look at it. I don't deal with those kind of people. I won't. I'm on a mission to try to bring as much peace to the world that I can and help as many animals as I can and people along the way. So, and you want to bring peace to yourself. If you don't bring peace to yourself, a lot of things can influence you that are dark. Because there was a lady in Texas. I was reading this on her. My God, I forgot where I read it at or seen it. I think it was on a news break somewhere. But she took, I think she had 3 or 4 kids, like they were little babies or something like that. I don't know. There were three. She had triplets or something. She put them outside in the ice storm so they could die. And the thing is there's a lot of negative energy rolling around. A lot. And dark presences, they feed on this kind of activity. They feed on it. If you're positive, you're strong enough to defeat darker things and darker thoughts. If you're not strong willed and you're being influenced by dark things, that's when they come right in. And I often think to myself, why do people murder? Why do people do different things? Because psychology is one of the things I like. And I'm very interested, and I'm a people watcher. I'd like to know why they do all these horrible, horrendous acts. I want to know why they abuse animals and abuse people. And when I do my research on all this, I find out that a lot of these people were manic depressant or just schizophrenic or just have these different personalities, and sometimes they let a lot of spiritualists will say that some people let bad presences just take over them, and sometimes they don't even remember the bad things they've done, like the Amityville Horror, which was a real murder. It didn't, and the house wasn't haunted or nothing. That was false. Because, I mean, things are once an entity gets what they want and you end up murdering someone or whatever, they're done with you. They're moving to someone else to get them to murder somebody. Sometimes connecting yourself away from negative energy is the best way of keeping a demonic presence away from you. And demonic things is something I specialize in, I guess. This is why I paint and stuff, because it helps relax me. Because sometimes I see dark things and I see them a lot. But I'm strong-willed enough to not listen and tell them to go F off. But you got to be strong-willed and you got to keep good in your heart. And I'm not saying you got to go around praising Jesus all day. That I'm not. I'm not saying that at all. Okay, can you guys stop fighting, please? Chong, just go in the room and leave him alone. Go. Go.
Chong, come here.
But like I said, I'm not saying that you got to go praise. You got to go to church. All I'm saying is you got to. Please put him in the cage. I'm literally streaming and I cannot get up.
Stop dancing. I want that.
Okay, well, I'm
Come
trying
on,
to do
Chong.
one thing and
Come
I
on.
got them two
Go on to
fighting.
bed. Go on to bed. Oh, you want to go in there? All right.
Okay. Jeez. Them two fight all the time. But like I said, these presences can have effect on you because they get on you and they can influence your thoughts. And sometimes they do it through other people. They really do. So this is why I tell you this advice, because I see a lot of dark things. I used to go before I used to have like a little jobs where I would exorcise like demons from a house when I was a little younger, and I would get cigarettes and moonshine, and I would get rid of them, all these entities from people, because I'm very strong-willed. So I know how they kind of operate. So this is why I tell you. So if you ever have any questions about darker things, I'm generally the person to ask, because I kind of know about things like that, and I have done things, and I'm pretty good at it. And this is why I want to make the world a better place, because doing that things and seeing what I've seen, I don't want anybody else to have to see those things or have to endure any of that. Because once you see the darkness, you cannot unsee the darkness. And I will tell you that. That is, my friends, true facts. You cannot unsee dark things. And a lot of people Once they see a dark entity, to me, it's not a big deal. It's another day, and I usually just get rid of them because I'm so strong minded, I overpower them. But they never, ever influence me. I don't care if they looking scary as hell. I don't care. Nothing scares me. I will fight them to the death. I don't even care. But that's just me. Now, my friends that are like, I have a friend that's a shaman. She can't handle dark things. Not at all. I have to help her because when, like, if she feel it, because she had PTSD because she was a cop, and then she retired because I don't a little boy was shot and died in her arms, and just I helped her through it, but she seen the darkness and she couldn't unsee it. Sometimes when you see something that's very, very dark, unless you're very strong willed, you can't get rid of it. And I think that leads to a lot of murders. And a lot of the murders that are horrifying. And just all these horrific beatings and animal abuse, people abuse. It's from these dark entities. And they're all around. They really are. So, and I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm just saying this to keep you positive. Because they don't like positive people. They don't. And you don't have to be overly religious. I'm not even saying you do. You just got to be positive and have the will not to want to be dark and not let them bother you in that way. So, but yeah, I'm more of like I don't know, an exorcist. I guess you would call that. That's why I'm very good with crystals. I will share you with that. I am very good at. That's why I do the. I bring a crystal, a lot of times when I'm like doing one of these things, and I instead of putting the energy, like the priests, I have problems with these damn priests. These priests, when they're in an exorcism, which I've said, I've read it in Latin, the, the whole ceremony and stuff, in Old English, they're invoking a spirit onto them, making themselves unpure, and that just makes the darkness that much happier that they got to be in a holy vessel. And they somehow they think this is a great practice, but this is where me and priests don't get along. Not at all. I cannot. I don't know where their logic is. Not at all. But stay positive, and I would have crystal quartz with you because you can. If you have a quartz crystal with you could have these kind of. You could divert negative energy with that. And you can manifest with a clear quartz, and it gives you a lot of, like, whatever you're manifesting, it will literally give you a clear passage so you can try to stay positive and not be affected by it. Because they run all around us. I see them, I don't care. I just try to get rid of them or divert them away from people, but some people, that's, they invite them in. And I don't know, understand why they would want to invite something that wants to literally see you suffer, but some people do. I mean, it is what it is. Like I've said before, I was I was so curious about the subject, I tried to join the Lucifer group, and the minute told them that Lucifer was once the morning star and was an archangel, I got kicked out. But they did send me their prayers and stuff, and I studied them because you got to study thy enemy. And that's kind of what I do on the outside when I'm not here. Well, when I'm not at work. That's probably why people feel peaceful dying in my arms a lot at work. It probably is because I'm a more of an empath and I do things to protect more than anything else. But this is what I am and what I do. Now, this horrible looking tree, and it was horrible. As much as you guys said it was kind of good, it was horrible. This is better. All I did is shade in the black, and then in here I shaded in the middle black and brown. I made something that was horrible look better. But this is probably why I paint so much, because I deal with a lot. I think this is the more realistic one I've done. This one is good for shading. This has nice shading, but looks a little bit better altogether. So, but I am going to come on tomorrow. I'm not really trying to hit Facebook tomorrow. They got so much controversy and drama going on over there. I don't even think Jesus himself could deal with those guys. I really don't. I think they need Jesus over on Facebook. And I'm being serious. They got all kinds of craziness going on. I just drop some videos or whatever, and I be about my business anymore. But I do work till 7 tomorrow, but I'll probably be coming on around, most likely I get off at 7, so I'll probably get here around 8, and then I will change real quick. And as you see, I don't put a whole lot of makeup on. I do like make sure my hair's not sticking up and looking crazy, but I'm not trying to get overly dressy, so I probably can get over here on the live stream about 8:30. So, and we could talk more about dark forces and how they can make you murder and manipulate you, or even take over your own body if they want, if you give them enough control. And these are things you do not want. And I can give you tips on making sure this does not happen. So, that I'm good at. Shamanism, not so much. Now, my friend Jessica is very good at shamanism. She can clear cords, everything. I can let you know how to get rid of a dark force. She can't do things like that. I can. So together we're a team, and we're in, inseparable. Separate. She needs my help for dark things and spirit attachment and spirit detachment. But this is why we're all for one common goal in life. And I am for the ultimate peace. So I really am, truly. Ultimate peace is where I want. Yeah, I can give you a reading. I'm glad my awful tree finally looks good. I thought it was going to be a waste of paper from the poor tree. I actually think it looks almost as good as this one, but in a different way. Maybe I'll be able to draw a raven for my book cover. Who knows? But yeah, you can get a reading. I mean, I go over on Facebook and other things, and people are scared of me. I guess I'm supposed to have a babushka and everything else. I don't even know. And then I'm supposed to be talking about planets and solar systems instead of talking about light and dark energy, which I thought we were talking. You're supposed to be talking about energy, but apparently they talk about spirit animals over there and then get your reading. So I don't even do it. I don't even care. I really don't. I generally send a Snapchat over there once a day and keep my groups going, and then I'm just move about my business. This is where I'm at in the world with them. I mean, who knows? They talk about Elon Musk is doing this and that. TikTok was my account on TikTok was shut off for one day, then brought back. This world has gone crazy. And then my mother-in-law's going around saying Trump's peeing in the White House, and I told him I doubt this is happening. Oh, you're Scorpio. Scorpios could be very high-tempered and high-spirited. So, this happens. Alright, you want to know what's coming towards you in love in general. Okay. Alright. Alright. I'm picking your love situations in a void course moon. And this just means there's somebody out there that kind of has either you got an like a crush on them or they got a crush on you. And a void course moon means nothing's going to come out of that correspondence, pretty much. And it's just, I mean, it's not malicious or anything. It really isn't. It's just, it's not gonna go for a relationship. Whatever, whoever that person is. You know, maybe they could just be a nice friend, and then you could decide if you want a booty call or not. I don't know. I mean, these are things that people do, and it's okay to have a booty call. This is why people go on Tinder, apparently. My sons used to go on Tinder, and I think people still do. And your love situation is surrounded by a blue moon and a north node. And a blue moon is just believe in something you didn't think could happen. Just in layman's terms, just real basic. And you're surrounded by, in your love situation, a north node. And this just talks about just stepping out of something and do something you normally would not do. And so you can meet somebody that's more of a lasting mate. So you're going to have one person that you vibe with that's nice, but they're not going to be good for a relationship with you. But as a friend, yes. So if you sleep with this person, it's probably just going to be where you eventually just break up or something. And the spirits are saying that when this person comes around, just try to be friends and be civil, but just don't get too attached. And they want you to kind of shop around when this happens. So it looks to me like you're going to have two people in this month. One's going to be more sexual based, and another one's going to be more relationship. And you're going to have to decide which one you want. And you can have sex with them both at, when they come around, but I don't know if you were as the one, if you get the one that's not going to work out, how that's going to work out for you and how uncomfortable that's going to make you feel. Because it would make me feel uncomfortable, but some people can separate these things. So, or you could just not sleep with any of them. Talk to them, let them take you out to eat, maybe, and get to know you, and get to know them back, and then make your decision. That's something I would do, but that's just me. Now, my sister, she would have the booty call and the other person, but we're talking about my sister. She just enjoys things like this and separates it. That's just who she is. But yeah, I love Dion, but he cheated on me. Oh well, then that's the one I'm thinking of. Is the related? It might be. Maybe the Void Course Moon is him. I mean, I don't know the circumstances if you're currently with. I just know one person is not going to work out, and one will. So I guess if you already broke up with this guy and he cheated on you, then that was the first one, and there's a second one coming then. So I don't know where is. I feel it's going to be from a social situation. Honestly, I feel that you're just going to run into him and in some social gathering, the second person, and the one that cheated on you is going to try to get you back. And I would stay away from him then, because nothing's coming from that, and he's just going to hold back your happiness. So I would just wait for the other one and just try to be hospitable to the other one. Just go and be polite, move it about your business, and stay away from him. And don't get involved too much with the one that cheated on you then. If he cheated on you and it worked and it had a bad outcome, the second time it's still going to have a bad outcome. So you don't want to have a repeated cycle of always not working out. When bad cycles repeat themselves over and over again, it can cause you a lot of torment and a lot of distress, and you don't want that. I've been in those. I was in one of those for 2 years, and I don't think it was horrible, and I don't think anybody should have to go through that. So it really was truly horrible, and then sometimes you end up having children in this horrible cycle. Oh, I get it. My first child was with, and I was with someone just like that for 8 years, and had a child with this person. He ended up getting married, cheating on me, and the person who cheated on me, he got married with. He literally married her. And it's my oldest stepmom. It's his stepmom now, the person that he cheated with me, and I had to forgive. I had to forgive the whole situation and move on to be happy. And it was hard as hell, and I don't recommend anybody having to go through that. You got to be very strong for that. I didn't think I was strong enough for that, so to avoid that kind of problems, I mean, that's what I would do. So I wish you the best, and I will be on tomorrow. 'Cause by 12 hours of hell at work,
Stop.
I'm gonna need something.
You want something from Sonic?
No,
Stop.
no, I do not.
Come on, Jumanji. Come on. Come on. He's in the cage for now.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and grab something to eat, and I will be on probably around 8:30. And I hope my advice was helpful to you guys. I do like to have helpful advice if I can. And I hope you like the ugly tree that turned nice.
Go.
And I will see you guys tomorrow. Just look out if you're subscribed to me. Just look out around 8:30, and I promise I will come in. And I don't know, maybe I'll be in another mood. I don't know. I've been in a tree mood lately. And thank you for the conversation. And I enjoyed talking to you guys. And have a great night or great morning, wherever time zone you're in. And I appreciate everything. And I'm going to probably be going to bed soon because I'm on the night one.